I'm going to hit the. Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm Deanna. Today I have with me Selma from Algeria representing, but at the American University in Beirut. No?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I want to know why possibly in spring you'll go to VCU, what you're studying, what all of the things you're involved in. Oh my gosh.
All right. So hi, Deanna. Thank you so much first for the invitation. It really means a lot to just finally have this talk with you. So hi, as Deanna stated, I'm Selma Bichbich from Algeria. I'm actually social and climate youth activist, SDG advocate, and just volunteer work lover. I am, as she stated, I'm a current undergrad student doing political science at the American University of Beirut, AUB, in Lebanon. And I am also planning to have my semester abroad, probably a huge chance for me to get it to do it in next spring in VCU. I had a great feedback about it from my friends who already went there for their semester abroad, and especially when it comes to political majors, it has been so recommended. And not only academically, but even when it comes to civic engagements and getting involved in society there with your major. And to me, when it comes to such things, I always love to get involved and also study. I just hate to just study. So I always love doing both. And since VCU offered both, then I was I'm ready to go for it. So I can't wait actually to do this, really. So
You are super involved, and so it will be just great to mix your energy in with everything that you're doing right now. I told you that I wanted to start with the more recent things, and I realized I hadn't even included these last few weeks for you, which have been huge. You had a students client call, a climate call event.
Yes.
And let's start there, and then we'll move back in the month and then the year.
Okay. Well, actually, thank you so much for bringing this up, because it was one of the things that it was really required a lot of hard work, a lot of planning, and it was we slept for hours, and most of us were shaking during the events, and we were no, we're not stressed, it's just we didn't sleep, that's why we're shaking. We had zero sleeping. So this is actually the second edition of the Student Climate Call event. Now, as you may know, I'm actually founder of an NGO called Together for Blue and Green. It's actually in Algeria, based in Algiers, and it's an environmental NGO funded by the French Embassy in Romania. So having this support, whether financially and even at the community level, gave us the opportunity to kind of really come up with ideas of having series of events, workshops, cleanup sessions, planting. It was more of just trying to teach people simple practices that can be embraced by everyone, to just be sustainably equal and kind of fight for climate change and know about environment. So we decided to launch something that is kind of targeting students and educational institutions, because I was a delegate of Algeria at the Pre-COP26 Youth for Climate Summit in Milan, and we insisted a lot about education and how this actually can really help us to introduce students and people to what is climate change and how we can have our actions done on the ground just by knowing some few stuff. So starting from there, I realized that we can actually do something in Algeria regarding this, because what is always linked to education, people embrace it and want to know more about it. So we decided to have this call, which we're planning actually to have it annually, every year. Now this is the second edition. The first edition was in collaboration with the university. And this university, the major there in this university is marine studies and marine and coastal studies. So they really welcome the idea, and they love the fact that we're having this call for the first time with them. Literally, our edition was with them. The first edition was really, really successful, and people loved it because we invited clubs from other universities. We're talking about different majors that are not even related to climate. So we wanted literally to introduce everyone to climate. We had IT, we have medicine, we have like literally everyone involved. We have different clubs in different universities. We even like invited NGOs as well to be part of this, just like as guests and as representatives of their entities. So it was like something very new in Algeria to have. And to be honest, I even like after the event ended, I didn't even realize that we just did this. Like I have always said that this is impossible to happen in Algeria because people don't really like such things. But actually they do. It's just that no one did it. So we didn't know if they're going to love it or not. You see? Now, the second edition was in collaboration with the US Embassy and the American Institute as well. Now, because I'm actually a previous like exchange program alumna, I do have kind of the advantage and like the opportunity to kind of request support when it's needed, to always like propose ideas and projects if I do have. And thankfully, the fact that I do have the privilege to request that, I wanted really to do something with them since I do have access to that. So I decided to collaborate with them and to ask for hosting our event there in the embassy. And they absolutely welcomed the idea, and they love the fact that an alumna did this because no one actually did it so far. So I reached out and I was like, let me just try my luck. Maybe they're going to say yes. And they did say yes. And they hosted it in an embassy, which was like so restricted. And like, it was very hard to host an embassy, but eventually we did it. We respected all of the policies and regulations, and we made sure that we're sticking to our professionalism. And it was like perfectly, really like, it was the best edition we had because we also had collaborators with World Learning Algeria, with the American Institute. We had many NGOs represented with us. We had like even a German company that was also with us as a collaborator, GIZ, the German Foundation Algeria. So it was like pretty good. Like we really had, and even like we had a full event where there was a workshop. We had also panel discussion, and we had a networking session. So it was like a full event. And like even like for the workshop, we tried to introduce them not only to climate as an issue, but also, for example, how businesses can be like considered in another way, where we can just also focus on me introducing a business that is eco-friendly and sustainable, I would say. So we wanted also like to introduce them to this side of businesses so that they can also, consider such startups, and that serves the community and kind of like don't really contribute to climate change. So like people really loved that, and we had like different perspectives included. We had like NGOs perspectives, academic perspective, and we had like even an amazing panel discussion where we hosted representatives of GIZ company in Algeria. And they even introduced them to the opportunities they're offering, the internships they're offering. So it was really mix of everything. And it was like way better than the first edition. I mean, like we're getting really great improvements in here. So everyone was like, we cannot wait to see what the third edition will be, because we have no idea how it's going to be. But like, I'm really thinking of having like something that is national, because like this time it's like more of in the capital, like for people only based in the capital, which is sad. I mean, Algeria is a huge country. So like I'm thinking of really having something national where like everyone can just like come and know more about climate and environment, and how they can, do things on the ground when it comes to that. So yeah, I know I talked a lot about it, but like it was like one of the best things that happened in summer. It was like the last thing I did in Algeria, and then came to Lebanon.
Okay, so that makes more sense. I was thinking, so you're planning on staying in Lebanon for a while, but that makes more sense now.
It was just the summer holidays.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So wow. I what I saw you speak on like a month ago, so maybe a kind of around the same timing, was on agriculture and youth, and empowering youth in agriculture, maybe. Yeah. But that ties also into your climate justice camp. So maybe we can talk about both of those things.
Yeah. Yes, this is actually the climate justice camp, the international climate justice camp. This actually happens every year. It's like the first edition was last year, and it was in Tunisia. This year, they made it in Lebanon. They are kind of really choosing the countries in the global south that are mostly affected in when it comes to climate in the global south. So like they keep on choosing countries that are easy when it comes to visa, when it comes to logistics, and also they are being affected with climate change. And now Lebanon is like like catastrophic when it comes to the effect of climate change in here. And also they're going through crisis, as I told you before. There were like electricity cuts constantly, even though I'm in campus, which is something is not supposed to happen, because like our campus is kind of different from the outside. But like unfortunately, even in our campus, it does happen sometimes. So this climate justice camp was a pretty good experience. Like we met like amazing change makers and climate activists from all over the global south. We even like had other internationals from Europe, the US, and other countries as well. It was pretty interesting experience. We had the chance to actually host 2 side events. The first event was MENA with MENA Youth Network, which is actually also a regional network that I'm a co-founder of. And the second event was with MENA Coalition for Peace, Youth and Security, where I'm a youth board member there, and ProVeg, when I'm also a board member. So like we have this collaboration together all at once, and we had another side event. The one with MENA Youth Network, the side event was mainly focused on how we can have the inclusion of youth in the agricultural sector, because we're not giving enough space to get involved. We don't know how we can get involved because like it's a very, very neglected sector that is all time for old people, which is sad to kind of give such a sector to old people. And we want to really know how we can get involved, because now is like we're living in a different era where we can always use innovation, innovative tools, technology to make this better, you know? And I know so many of my friends who are owners of startups, and they're doing great in the agricultural sector just with their startup. So we wanted to focus on this side of what type of initiatives, what type of startups and businesses and projects we can bring as youth from this era to the agriculture sector. So like we wanted kind of to discuss this and really make proposals and make sure that we want to get this somewhere, you know. So hope this actually will be also included in COP28, like to submit these proposals there as well. The second thing, the other side event that we hosted was mainly about the human rights perspective, but also like linking it back also to the kind of the agricultural sector. I would say not agriculture, but like food security, because like why we are having food insecurity in the MENA region, and why this keeps on actually affecting human rights. So like that's what the topic was mostly about. We had like a panel discussion. It was a plenary. With a founder of startup from Tunisia, a project owner of Injaz. It was Injaz project, and it was it was Al Ajyal project. It was also by Lebanese, and there was also in our panel discussion an activist from Pakistan, and there was also Juliet, who was the co-founder of the ProVeg. And she was also with us, like kind of talking about, because she's going to have a side event in the World Food Forum, and she was like kind of talking about why how they want to bring this food insecurity problem into the table of discussion and try to discuss it more from like at the, I would say, global level. And they will also make sure to address what we have discussed when it comes to the MENA region. So it was like they were both amazing like events and discussions that we had. We were really, to be honest, personally, I was surprised with the amount of information I got and how people are doing great work when it comes to improving the agriculture sector, kind of advocating for their local challenges. And it's really a lot of work we're doing. And like the fact that it's just, you know, people be like, oh, I'm an activist, but like that's really requires a lot of work. And it's all voluntarily, you know, but we still face a lot of problems, even though we're just trying to do this for the sake of community. And we have heard a lot of challenges faced by so many youth who just wanted to start things for the sake of serving their community. And that's so sad that we're still having such policies and regulations that kind of don't give the freedom to youth to just do what is good for their communities. That's really sad. But yeah, after all, it was all good. It was a pretty good experience.
And these policies are because they're actually underage, like below 18, so they don't have rights, or
no, it's actually like, for example, when it's, for example, in Algeria, if you want to found an NGO, you have to follow a lot of regulations. Like they'd be like, make sure that you want to avoid this, make sure you don't want it. Like, for example, if I want to get funding abroad, which was the case for me, it was like an outsider funding, and it was so hard. Like, I have been like investigated. They were like investigating with me for what I want to use this funding, how it's going to be, what's the budget, what. So like, we're not giving this space to just do things, you know, just in a pretty good way, you know. Like, for example, if whatever we want to plan something, we have like to get an approval, and usually they make a lot of delays to get this approval from the responsible of the, I forgot the name, like the local level, the ones who are like ruling the locality, the community, the local level. I forgot how we call that.
town hall. I don't know. They're probably
so yeah, what matters is that they just ruined everything, and they just all keep on making this delays, and like sometimes we end up just like not doing it because they're just like keep on requesting documents and things that are really not needed. It's just like we want to do something simple as planting, and even people that we want to plant for them, they're okay with that. So why are you just keep on requesting such things, even though it's not really a governmental land, but it's just owned by other people? So that's actually things that you have to go through every time, and it's just so annoying.
The administrative barriers, and then the loopholes, and then like maybe you should go to this other department over here where they also aren't gonna make anything easier for you.
Exactly.
What kinds of since you have seen the startups that are kind of transforming the agricultural sector, what kinds of things have you seen succeed? Like, is it really just basic concepts of like, we're just going to target this one particular aspect, or is it more of a like consultancies, just out of curiosity?
Yeah. For example, one of the startups that actually sparked my interest, it was actually an Algerian, the one who we actually invited for our plenary in the Students Climate Call event. He talked about his startup on how they actually have like they make organic fertilizers, and yeah, they make organic fertilizers, and they avoid using chemicals, and like they actually made the alternative. It was like manually made, and it was all organic. So like it will replace the use of pesticides, I would say chemicals,
petroleum,
yes. And non-organic fertilizers that they usually use, and they literally like end up giving damaged fruits and vegetables, and are maybe not like 100% healthy, because you know sometimes you taste some fruits and vegetables that when you taste them you feel that there's something wrong, and you taste something that is not fruits or vegetables inside, you know, it's not like part of it. So they actually replaced the whole thing, and they made this organic product, and they even taught, and also the thing is that when you use this fertilizer like that usually the farmers use, it also like really affects the health as well, like they're so unhealthy, and it also affects the person who is trying to put them and kind of use them. So what they created is literally organic, healthy. It's also good for farmers, especially that, as you know, farmers are all old, especially in, for example, Algeria, and like in all over the globe. They're always the old people who are doing this. So like them using such products that are somehow so harmful to their health is a big deal, actually, and it's so sad that this is not so addressed. It's really sad. But this guy, he made his startup that makes this product, and he even like tried to even like use it in like the way he started like kind of selling it. He went to so many farms, and he talked to so many farmers. He used it in their farms. Like in the beginning, it was all for free. He taught them how to do it, and they even like waited for the results, and it was like way better than what they had before. And even like, yeah, it was like literally, and even like in terms of the pricing, it was also good, because like it didn't really like the product making, it didn't really cost him much. He told me it was very, like, he was talking about his story and the way he introduced it to the farmers. Like, it was a pretty hard journey, like, because not any farmer will accept for you to just suggest a certain product and you be like, no. And I mean, you're trying on his land and you're trying on his course, and that's like, you don't know what will happen, and maybe everything will be damaged after. But no, and also like, it helps the soil to also get cured, especially during the fires. It's very good for that as well. So it's like the product he made was really good, and it was all made from organic products that we usually throw. It was like a pretty good thing to introduce to people and to us, and I didn't know that we can actually do this, because my grandparents are also farmers, and I used to go a lot with them and see what they were using. Yes, they used to use this kind of things, but like, I didn't know that this actually harmful to them, and I didn't know this. So but after, well, after after I grew and I saw what is happening on the agricultural sector, I knew that what was done was actually wrong, and it's so sad, because like, that was the only offered option for farmers, so like, we cannot just like blame them. But since such things are being introduced and being made by youth and maybe other people, then this is actually a very good step to kind of really get involved in the agricultural sector.
That is an awesome, and it does, when I asked if it was something simple, it's not necessarily that it's simple, but the nature-based solutions do seem like well, of course, it's the most natural way to go about it. But he is having to confront that risk aversion that I think a lot of the farmers have, because you're messing with their livelihood. And if you're going to come in and say, we're going to do things differently, you better be really sure that you're helping and not harming.
Yeah.
But super cool project. And yeah, I love that. And you mentioned that it helps with the soil as well, with fires, right?
Yes.
Are there also fires there?
Yes.
Fires
In
everywhere.
Algeria, it's literally every summer happening. And I know in California state as well. And like last year, and like, it was us and Tunisia, it was Turkey, Greece as well. I know in the US, it's always California being affected. No, like in Algeria now, like, it used not to happen at all, but like this time, it's literally every summer. And actually, people don't know that sometimes people don't know when we talk about wildfires. That's why we address it as a climate change issue, because when wildfires happen, the soil sometimes get damaged, and you cannot, like, you will literally, like, the farmer will have zero income after, because the soil will not give anything after. It's going to be fully damaged, and curing it requires a lot. And such organic products, sometimes it helps, sometimes not. So when we say that a certain a certain fire was happening in a certain country, we have to consider that certain people who used to count on the stands for their income or for their livelihoods, it's gonna stop because of that. So that's why, like, it's pretty sad that we're seeing this happening every summer, and it actually happens always in the cities that has like most of the beautiful lands, green lands. Like, I remember, like, in one of the summers, it was, I think, not last year, the one before, I literally had friends who became homeless between like one night and another because of the fires. It was like we have never experienced such a thing. And like, it was so sad, like beautiful cities that we used to go there for vacations, and like, no, they're not there anymore because of, like, everything got ruined because of the fire. So I think this also, like, this is actually something that is not usually brought up a lot in such international gatherings. Like, it's still like a neglected issue, and it's happening a lot in North Africa, and even like some countries in Europe. Italy, when they faced this, and it was actually, it affected the olive production. So they ended up hosting this Youth for Climate Summit, and they brought people from all over the globe, and they wanted us to really give real proposals regarding this. So like, I mean, like, that's how big an issue it is, you know, and it's really affected a lot the Italian economy. So so yeah, that's how serious it is, and people don't know this side. When we talk about wildfires, they'd be like, oh, it's just like about the trees getting infected, and you would not have some trees for some time, and that's it. But no, there are like other things that will, I would say, upcoming consequences that you would not see now. It's like at the long-term level, and that's so sad that such issues are not so brought up into the tables of discussions.
We actually just talked about this in our group session. It's really, I didn't know a lot about it, and even, yes, the fires in California, I hadn't really, if people don't make the link, sometimes it's hard for us to make the link ourselves. But we, looking further into it, also saw how big companies, multinational corporations, are lobbying for laws that allow them to manipulate our forest management as well. So there is potential for us to mitigate these risks and to be more resilient, but in the short term, we're lobbying for profit. And I just got the notification that we have to switch classrooms. Yes. Can we? Okay. So let's go back to Italy and tell me more about your peer education training there. And yeah, I also want to talk about the Euro-Arab relations. That is not related. That was in Brussels, but let's talk about Europe now.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Italy was like the very first, like, I would say it was like the perfect intro that I had to this climate change, global concern thing. It was like, well, it was actually pretty good summit. Like, we had like ministers from all over the world there, and it was like a huge conference that we had in Milan. And even like, remember, it was even during COVID. So like, we were not really allowed to go around in Milan, and it was pretty sad somehow, but we met like amazing change makers, and it was like two representatives from every country. So it was me, the female representative, and also another guy who is now living in Belgium. He was also Algerian. So we both like we were representing Algeria and so many other delegates from all over the world. We have like a lot of countries represented, and it was like we had like different themes to focus on, like education, media. I remember I was selected as one of the facilitators of the media working group, and like how media can contribute to the promotion of climate change, because we are not seeing them doing much. Like, honestly speaking, well, at least in my country, I know this, and actually it was the case for so many other countries as well. They never like try to really highlight what's the issue, or like only when something happens, which is like absolutely what we don't need them for, because everyone hears that. So we also like even gave proposals on how we can just not count on media and be the journalists of our countries, and be the ones who will kind of communicate this to people and kind of spread awareness, and you know, make sure that people are trying, like, are at least being aware of this, of what is happening, you know, at least at the local level, because sometimes such things happen and we even don't know about them. So that's like, I'm talking about disasters happening at the local level and people don't know about them. So like, we cannot keep counting on media, because like in some countries, they even like said that they just need to follow what the governments send them to just talk about, and that's it. Like, you know, in some countries it is like this. So it's high time for youth to kind of really get involved, and that was my working group. So I was the facilitator, the coordinator of this working group and the proposals drafting process. So it was really good, and we had amazing proposals by youth from different countries. We had Europe, we have America, Latin America, Asia, and Africa, of course. So we had like people from like, we literally had proposals from different perspectives, and even like it was supposed to be like this, like every working group needs to have people from all over the globe so that we can have a variety and like a diverse proposals. It was pretty good experience. We made like at the end of the summit, we made a huge manifesto that was like, that included all of our proposals together. And even like after the summit, we had like post meetings done with the coordinators of the summit and like the secretariat and stuff, so that we can just, you know, follow up with maybe additional comments, additional proposals that we wanted to add after like reviewing the manifesto. So it was like a pretty good experience, and it was good because like most of them were also like kind of proposals that were included in the COP26 as well. So that's like, it was like kind of lead up to a follow up to that. So yeah.
That well, we didn't get to the storytelling of the climate justice camp, and that I'm jumping back and forth, forgive me.
Yeah.
But I want us to come back to that, which was this summer, no?
Yeah, it was this summer. It was actually from the 28th of August till the 2nd of September.
Okay, and what was the story that you decided to share? I saw that there was
yes, I was among the people who were like chosen to just, you know, be among the inspiring young activists to just, you know, tell their stories, and like they had like a book that had like all the people who will be like, and with their like bios and the stories they want to share. I wanted to talk more about the wildfires in Algeria because it was like a very like an experience that touched me a lot, because it really like it involved people who are close to me, and it's like I wanted really to talk about this and really take such struggles like so seriously, because we really can make change, and sometimes we can even stop this from happening, you know? So why should this happen from the beginning, you know? So like we need like kind of like, sometimes at some point I really felt like I should blame myself, because we should have done some campaigns, some reminders, you know, for people to just remember not really to reconsider their actions and practices, you know, to just, you know, because afterwards they will regret it, and they will also put the blame on themselves. But like, of course, no one wants this to happen, but like we're still neglecting our actions that is like leading this eventually. And some of them are not aware that this will lead to such big challenges like this one. So I talked about this, and I talked about the campaign that I started, because during this wildfires, I started a campaign. It was Algeria, You Got This. And it was actually right after the Milan summit. That's why I told you the Milan summit was it's a very beautiful experience. And like, it's like, it had a lot of memories before and after. So the thing is that like after the summit, I started this campaign because the fire started to happen in Algeria. And I had so many of my friends during the summit who got involved in this campaign and who supported us. Algeria, You Got This. And it was like 88 countries presented with us, from Africa, Europe, the US, America, Latin America, Asia. We had literally a lot of people, and so many of them were actually activists that I met in Milan, who were there taking part in my campaign, and they just supported it. It was a very beautiful experience, and they are all like raising one word. Like, I mean, after all, this was a big challenge, but like it brought us all together. It unified us. The campaign was Algeria, You Got This, and it was like something that really, really, really means a lot to me. And I talked about it, and people like even like started asking me a lot during my when I was telling the story, like they really asked me a lot about this, and they really loved the idea, and they were like so inspired and touched with the story, and I was so happy to share this. And I also like shared how this specific experience made me like motivated me to just keep on going and keep on my doing this advocacy journey, even though I know it's so hard, but whatever happens, I'm still gonna do this. So it was like the reason why I'm here today, and why I'm still like kind of doing a lot when it comes to climate. And actually sometimes I don't share a lot. So like I don't share everything I do, which is so sad. But it's just like, I don't know.
It is sad, honestly, because you were talking about media and how it does have such an expansive impact, because what you're doing and the stories that we can learn that you've lived might inspire us to live those stories as well, and to go and find what it is that makes us want to be involved and motivates our activism. So I do just encourage you to share it all. I mean, or tell somebody else like what you did, and tell me what you did and I'll share it.
Thank you, I will. To be honest, even like I remember in our media working group, some of the people who were in my working group, they actually started a YouTube channel after. They were like, we're doing this seriously, and they started YouTube channels, and they're now, I don't know, influencers.
Right? Like it's
yes, they were like, I'm taking this to the next level. And I really loved that. Like, no, our working group was very special, and we were like even our proposals, like we were doing it like in a funny way, energetic way. And even like one of the coordinators who was just like, checking on us, like he was like, I'm loving this group. Like, you guys are super cool. And it was like, yeah, it's media, so we should be.
So true.
So it was really good. We even like had a fashion working group. We had a education working group. We had like different subtopics and working group. It was really good.
So then where is the origin story for Together for Blue and Green in here? How does that start? Also with Milan?
Yeah. Now for Together for Blue and Green, how it started, I was just like talking about it last time when I was invited by the SUSE program, the US exchange program. I have been invited to talk about my experience and how I founded this. And then like I did a collaboration with US Embassy. I was just like recently invited to it. So it's actually, so it started with an ESWINT. It's called ESWINT program. It happened in Romania. And like we have this like it's only for students. And it's just like we have like a 1 week thing, and it's just like, together, we just have fun, we share about our culture, we have like different workshops and stuff. Like it's just like more of us youth getting along as students and trying to introduce new things to each other. And then like it happened only in our cohort, and the French embassy, they decided to kind of offer funding for the 5 top ideas. And I was like, I'm gonna really suggest my idea and see how it's gonna go. So I suggested like the Together for Blue and Green idea, why I want to host it, especially that Algeria really lacks a lot of such initiatives. So I just suggested my idea, and there were like other amazing ideas too. And most of them were actually Europeans, the ones who were with us. I was actually, I think, the only North African, not only African, and there was also one from Latin America, and the 3 were Europeans. So it was only us, the 2 different ones. Most of them were actually Europeans who were contributing to this competition. So and then like they finalized, and they finalized the 5 top, and we all gave our ideas. We presented them in 5 minutes. In a 5 minutes presentation, and we just talked about our ideas, and they asked us questions, and then like my ideas was among the top 5, and I ended up being offended. I didn't expect this at all. And then like we followed up with the logistics, and that's how Together Blue and Green all started. So yeah, it was like more of as you can see, Together for Blue and Green. So the reason why I chose the blue, because like in Algeria there is like this valley that is so contaminated, and it's like very like poisoned, and it used to be good before, and then after the colonization they ruined it, and it became a dump for like trash. And it's so sad, because this valley can be used for as an, like I would say, as an alternative resource when there is water scarcity. Like if there was like because sometimes there are like events where water is very needed in Algeria, even though Algeria, like, it's a country where water scarcity should never happen there, because we have water in the desert, and we are also a Mediterranean country. So we should never have an issue with that. But like at some point we do sometimes, and that's so sad. And this valley was supposed to be one of the resources that we can use when we face such, you know, issues, unexpected things happen. So, but no, it was used for the dump instead, and trash, instead of just like considering other solutions, which actually so many people, and I would say so many youth, are trying to figure out solutions and projects where we can use other alternative places for trash. Like they have amazing ideas, but no, none of that was considered, and it's just so sad. And that's like was one of the reasons why I chose the blue first, then the green, which was for the planting trees and for the wildfires that were happening in Algeria every summer. So that was actually the reason why I got funding, and it was very good to. It was a pretty good experience to. I have never expected that it's going to be an interesting idea, but yes, they ended up funding. The 3 of them were Europeans, and actually not all of them were into climates. One was education, I was environment. One, he created something, the Europeans, they created something for people who cannot hear, for the deaf people. Yes, and like it was something specific for deaf people, but also disabled ones as well. Like it benefits both of them. And like it was like really, really interesting ideas. We all had like different perspectives, targeting different challenges, and I love the fact that they considered this in funding.
Yeah, huge honor. And what is it that you guys ended up putting together with the NGO, with Together Blue and Green?
Yes, so we ended up having like series of workshops. Like in the beginning, we had like a series of events. In the beginning, it was like because it was in COVID, so we had like series of events online with the business makers, like with business owners and like activists as well, who are doing initiatives on the ground. And then like we moved to having cleanup session. We had only one cleanup session so far, because, you know, we have so many members in our team who are abroad, and I am also the founder abroad. So only when we meet all, we do something. But we're actually planning to start doing a podcast soon, which is going to be like now. Yeah, so like we want to do it so bad. And it's like it will be our next idea. That's why like we're not so active these days. So we're working on this together. And the fact that like so many of us are like not even like in the country, so we decided to just like at least when we are not in the country, we can do something online. And like we want to like make it constant, like for example weekly or monthly consultations, podcasts. That's how it's going to be. And like whenever we meet, we have like either extra editions of student climate call events, and one of our friends, he also suggested to have like other extra things that we can go for other than the students climate call events. So like we're trying to brainstorm new ideas, look like for extra funding to kind of do also national stuff. So yeah, like these are like a lot of plans we're trying to make, especially like after this event with the embassy. So many people reached out to us because we used to not really be so known, but like so many people, like really the fact that we did it with the US embassy benefited us a lot.
Awesome. And you're also a Future Rising Fellow And I would like to know about this fellowship. And because we really haven't talked much about gender equality or how to tie that in with climate action. So a little bit on that, please.
Yes, this is actually a very recent engagement that I am part of. And to be honest, that's the reason why I really loved it, because it's kind of really involved the media, the media. Again, I'm linking it back to the summit in Milan, and this is like focused on storytelling, and I love that so much. It's going to be more of talking about us, talking about the future. It's like more of just you telling your story and kind of shaping it for people and making it like exciting for them. So like, and also, as you may know, I'm starting a campaign here in Lebanon in my campus to ban the plastic bottle use and replace it with sustainable, eco-friendly alternatives. So we're waiting for an approval, as like we want to make it as a policy, because I believe that we can make it as a policy because we had before people used to smoke inside campus, and it got like so much it's like it became like a very like a challenging thing. And then a student, he started a campaign, and he was like, we want to ban smoking inside campus, and they ban it and they made it a policy. So no one can actually ever either vape or smoke inside campus. Neither students nor staff nor like anyone cannot. So I want to do the same when it comes to plastic bottles, especially used, because we do have water fountains in the university, like all over the campus. So why the freak we are using plastic bottles? What we can actually literally use the other bottles that are already being sold in our store here inside AUB. So that's so sad, actually. And it's considered the #1 university in the Arab world. Like they call it the Harvard of the Middle East, and they are like always on. Like being like, oh, we're like sustainably known, and we're like being symbolic when it comes to sustainability, but we're not seeing this, to be honest. And I cannot believe that plastic is yet not banned, and like we're seeing packages all over the place. And they told me that the cafeteria, they made a promise not to, but apparently plastic is still there. So I'm going after this, and I really want to graduate seeing this happening because I'm now a junior. So I can't wait really to have this like approved as a policy, and I'm after it. Yeah, I'm after it now, and still 1 more year to go.
Wow. I hope that succeeds, because seriously,
yeah,
there are legal loopholes in the state where I'm from to bans on plastic. So you can't legally ban plastic, and it's mind-blowing that we're so, I mean, whoever it is that is so insistent on our dependence on plastic has such influence. And it's just like, also, our behavior, it's just, why can we not just stop? Let's all just stop. No, exactly. we have to have a policy. We have to make it illegal. We have to fine you. Like,
exactly. Like, just limits. We're not saying forever. Limits, suggest new alternatives. Like, literally, I just started. So like, we're having way better ideas than plastic. So like, why we're not introducing this to the new world, And plastic is literally ruining the world. Like if it wasn't really having any like bad effects, we would have accepted it with a with a hug, I would say. But like the fact that it's really having a very bad effect, and the fact that people will talk about recycling, but recycling is not that easy. Like it's a very hard process. Like and it's just not all just recycling and that's it. It's like we need really to rethink about all of this and like read more about what is it like for what is it all about recycling, and it's not just like recycling. It's usually actually takes a lot of time to just recycle products and ensure that it's as healthy as it was, because we're talking about plastic. So, and plastic is not that perfect I would say material that you would use multiple times. It's not recommended at all to be reused.
Exactly. It's meant to be thrown away, and then you realize, well, then let's just stop altogether, because if we can't recycle it, if it's, and you're, like you said, there is no perfect recycling method.
Yeah.
Because of the way that it's constructed molecularly, it's not meant to be used again. So let's just say
that's exactly why. And the fact that it's meant to be only thrown, that's actually another problem. And because they always target the oceans, and they talk it like for Algeria, the valleys, and when we talk about the deep of the ocean, you will see another world down there where plastic is literally killing the mermaids, and it's another like a total different like I would say challenge that people don't know about, and this actually should really be addressed. Like, and we even like hosted a workshop before the campaign regarding this, and people like really like they were like we even like gave bottles like eco-friendly bottles for people who attended, just for them like to show that we can still do this, and we need really to reconsider this. And we even like did like an interview on people, what do you think about recycling plastic, about replacing these bottles, and so many welcomed the idea, and they were like, we wish this actually would be made as an approved policy because we're sick of plastic. And even like the staff who usually cleans, and they were like, we're sick, like it's getting crazy, like hundreds of bottles in the library and in so many study places, and they were like, it's really too much. Like really. And even like the vending machines that are using these plastic bottles and giving like extra prices for them to gain more money about it. I mean, come on, this should really stop. It's like it's getting serious. And I mean, I cannot believe this is happening in the #1 sustainable whatever university. That's so sad.
Right. It's a shame. And we do have to be better. We have to acknowledge that it's not there's so much room for improvement and easy gaps to fill in for example.
Exactly. And this would be the story that I will be talking about in the fellowship that I'm in. This will be the story that I will be talking about in the Rising Fellow Fellowship that I'm part of.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be more of that. I'm going to address this because we will be interviewing people. We'll be like kind of documenting the process of, is it really going to be banned?
Well, I'll be following your new YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah, we will see.
Before we go, I wanted to, you talked about farmers being always old, and we've talked a lot, like this is a recurring theme about the youth dialogue and how important it is to bring kids and young voices into the global dialogue. What are your thoughts on the old people's place in the dialogue? And I don't mean like old people politicians, but people that are in the agricultural sector who are, their way of doing things is dying off, and they do have to be innovative at a time in their life when they're just like, can't everything stay the same?
Yeah, actually that's a very good question, and it was actually addressed also in the climate justice camp during our events, where someone was like, what happened to the dialogues that we should have all together with farmers and decision makers and business, I would say green agro business owners? What happened to such dialogues? Why we're not having this? And like literally this was also raised as a question in our side event. And then like we started talking about it, and we were like, we would love to welcome hearing from them. What should we learn? What do they want us to help them with? What would be our role in addition to theirs, which should be respected? Because after all, we need to always kind of save their traditional practices and kind of embrace them as a heritage, because it's coming from our grandparents, and that's why we say old people, because they know these sustainable, sometimes eco-friendly practices that they can use. Because before, like, I don't know, before
plastic,
yeah, like when they were young, I guess, they used to have like amazing practices where none of the chemicals was introduced back then. They were just like randomly farming and just having their crops all healthy. They were not really getting sick as they are now. So like, what happened to those practices? Who introduced these chemicals? Why this kind of businesses trying to impose this kind of products on literally all people who used to do fine without your products? So like, we actually addressed this, and we were really getting serious about this. Like, there should be policies, there should be like a real serious dialogue on this. Like, there should be a governing specified for agriculture as something that shouldn't be. They were like, actually at some point, some were like, I can't believe, like, and he was actually from the indigenous people. He was like, I can't believe that this world is considering not having agriculture anymore. We will live on genetics and whatever. And whatever is made, and was like, we're having industries that can still make fruits, and we got this. So like, they were like really getting mad about this, and they were like, we, the indigenous community, have like ways on farming, and these are for us like sacred. They're not anything that, like, they really take this so seriously, because literally that's how they live. And that's how, like, they provide this like, and the fact that they're actually, they told us that they are selling this with very, very cheap prices, and people benefit from this and try always like to kind of take advantage of that. And it's so sad to see that this world is turning to the other side, where such things are planned to be like neglected and to be kind of stopped. And that's so sad. Like, I can't believe that this actually may happen, and we need a serious debate and dialogue on that. Like, even new policies that kind of shape that, because we don't want to. I can't believe, like, we don't want to live on what is unhealthy and what is harmful, and kind of what is that kind of stops what our grandparents started, because literally that's how they started. It wasn't energy, it wasn't anything. It was literally on agriculture, and this should be kind of saved. And
it's sacred, and it's
exactly.
our connection to the natural world that I can't even imagine that people would talk about not having agriculture. How could, what sustains us? But
exactly.
So definitely space for more conversation. But we are going to get kicked out of our conversation. I do want to say, but just before you go, because you mentioned being in your second to last year, what do you imagine the future holds for you? I mean, as fast as you're running and as many directions as you're going in.
How the future will be, you said?
More you specifically, your role. What do you imagine for your maybe career path, or where you end up maybe studying? Okay. I know that this is the big scary question that they ask at the end of, you have to go out there and change the world, just so you know, we're waiting on
it. To be honest, like, I'm really loving the fact that I'm youth. I don't want to lose that. I want to stay like this forever.
You're doing like you can do what you're doing. Just make a documentary of it and make people follow you. Be
exactly
engaged.
To be honest, like, I don't want to be a bad politician because like now, like, as activists, we're hating policymakers so much, decision of policymakers. And that's actually the reason why I chose to study politics, even though, like, I do have an IT background. That's actually, I'm kind of that side. But I chose to go for political science because I was like, I want to know, what is it like, why it's so hard to make policies. It's just like, you need to approve something that is literally so clear that it's good. So like, I want to know how, like, my curiosity made me choose this major, and I was like, God, I hope I won't regret it. So far it's good. I'm really liking it, but like, I really want, like, to contribute to really raising the voice of youth, the neglected communities. Like, I have this intentions for choosing this major. And I love the fact that, like, that I can contribute to literally, because with a policy, you can change the whole world, like, just with literally wording that can be implemented. So like, that's actually something inspired me to choose this career. And I'm excited about it. But at the same time, I want to also follow up with my other journey, which is more of really, I want to really visit so many countries in the world. and also like try to explore the challenges of every community and try to kind of address that. I don't know how yet, I haven't thought of it, but like I really want like to speak about this people who didn't have a voice to raise. I want to like kind of create platforms for them to raise it on themselves as well. Because I have seen so many times Europeans representing African countries, why they don't even know what are the local challenges. Bring the one who is already living in Zambia, for example, and ask him what did he saw on his when he was trying to take actions on the ground, and how hard it was, and what were the challenges that he faced when he was trying to do this. So like this is actually, I have seen it in so many international gatherings, and it's so sad they keep on bringing it. I appreciate the fact that they try to kind of talk about other countries and address their challenges, but no, it shouldn't happen this way. Give the chance to the others who went through the challenges, so they can like detail the challenges for you and the struggles, and how should the support happen, which is not always about funding, by the way. And that's the mistake that politicians think. They think whatever we want to talk is always about funding, but it's not. Sometimes it's like simpler than that. So yeah, that's actually something I really want to go in my life, and we only live once, so let me try this out.
I'd love it. I fully support that. It's a noble cause, and at this time especially, you're talking about it being just the right time for people to get their time to represent themselves now. Yeah. But if you do decide to run for office in something that I get a vote in, I'll vote for you.
Thank you so much.
It's been so good to talk to you, Selma. I'm so glad that you're going to VCU. We're going to talk more.
Yeah, definitely. I will definitely reach out to you for that. And it was actually appreciate the fact that you opened the floor for people to just, talk and kind of really tell you about where we're doing, and the fact that you're having interest. That's so nice of you. And I actually, people like you are the ones who always like kind of remind us that we need to keep doing this, because no matter how hard it is, really like truly appreciate it, and we promise that we're gonna do more, and your support is always appreciated, and we're so grateful for that, because literally you guys are making us so like really like motivated to keep on doing this. Literally, it's all for you more than like for the struggle itself.
Wow, I love that. I really do believe that you are inspiring. Maybe if it doesn't happen tomorrow, something in me, but as well as in the viewers. And yeah, your inspiration. That's why I cover it. So thank you
so much for your time. I appreciate it, really. It means a lot, and I can't wait to see it. Where is it going to be posted?
YouTube. And if you have things to include, like, for example, some of the programs that you support, or you would like to see more applicants in, whatever you want to share, I'm more than happy to share it as well. Like, I love the media and social outreach online. That's the thing that I can do from here. So
that's so amazing. That's so nice of you. Okay, then, well noted.
Awesome.
Diana will be the one to reach out to.
Exactly. Well, so Selma, we'll talk soon. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Diana. Appreciate it. And I wish you a pretty good day and all the best with the amazing work you're doing, really. And if anything is needed, please, I'm here. I don't know how, but I'm here.
No, we're staying in touch. So don't worry. I won't be too long. See you soon.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.